It is what it is. Yo, you know what I'm saying? I like the way you went into it. My name is my name. Now let me quit playing. I'm Teddy Crucifix, a.k.a. Ty Van, a.k.a. your pastor's favorite rapper.
Yo.
We got Byron L. Cogdell on the ones and twos. And This is He's the Pastor. I'm the Rapper Podcast. I would say how you doing, but we've already talked for like 20 minutes.
I know, man. I feel like every time I hear music, I throw gang signs.
Why?
I don't know. It's just like a part of my thing.
Big beast.
Like, here, nah.
I know.
Anyway.
Hey, please take that out.
Yeah.
Please take that.
Yo, what's terrible is I've gotten my daughter to do that. So like
gang signs?
Yes, bro. Like every time we hear something, like if I walk out there, she's sitting out there right now, I'd be like, gang, gang. She'd be like, gang, gang.
Oh man.
I don't know, man. It's really bad, especially for a pastor. Y'all gonna judge me, but it's fine, man.
Man, he raising the game banger, man.
Oh, I forgot.
Man, he raising the whole game banger out here. So what about Parker? He throwing up the set too?
Barely. Parker don't be with no set. Parker's not a follower.
I like that.
No, I mean it's kind of, yeah, okay.
We're gonna leave it at that. All right, man. So
yeah,
we're gonna jump straight to it. I know we usually talk when we be with the shenanigans, but Clubhouse is trash.
Oh, wow.
We going straight to it. Clubhouse is trash.
Yo, shout out to everybody on Clubhouse, man. I love Clubhouse. Every week I'm on Clubhouse 4 or 5 times. And I'm a part of a few groups. I'm a part of a NBA group.
You just threw up a whole set.
Man, go ahead. Forget that. I'm a part of a basketball group on Clubhouse. I'm a part of a Alpha Phi Alpha group on Clubhouse. I'm a part of a lot of groups on Clubhouse. So I'm very pro Clubhouse. And there's a lot of ministry being done on Clubhouse. It's a lot of whack ministry being done on Clubhouse too. Don't get it twisted. There's a very well-known pastor who is also one of my favorite rappers who is on Clubhouse, probably right now.
Really?
Yeah, I ain't gonna.
I put 2 and 2 together.
I ain't gonna call nobody out, but you know
we ain't gonna do it.
If you outside and somebody's trying to mug you, you gonna spray them in the face with a little mace.
I was wow. There was like no code, no euphemism, no nickname. He just went straight to it.
Hey, that's how it goes.
So for what I said earlier, I was out of line. I've actually never downloaded the Clubhouse app.
Whoa. Wait, we've been talking about Clubhouse for like the last 10 minutes and you've never even downloaded the app?
No.
Wow, you wild, bro.
I'm a wild boy.
And here's the funny thing about it, bro. I think would thrive on, maybe not thrive on Clubhouse, but what greater opportunity to interact with people? Because it's like legitimate, like rappers, producers, and all the industry people. And you could just be in a room with them. Like I've been in rooms with King Los. I've been in rooms with Knife Wonder. I've been in rooms with all of these like big time producers and rappers, and they just in there talking regular.
I mean, to your point, there's a rapper by the name of Miles Minnick and Fern from Social Club Misfits. They got a song together, and they went to somebody hit up Fern, was like such as on Clubhouse, get on. He got on. Miles Minnick just perhaps to get on. They were the only people. The person that was supposed to go live in Clubhouse, he didn't get on.
Yeah.
But Miles Minnick and Fern were just in the room. Yep. They just started talking. Next thing you know, we got a song together from them. So to your point, I could be missing out on a lot of opportunities. But at the same time, I have a lot going on.
I dig it. Hey, you know what? I was talking to my homeboy about this because like I used to really be in podcasting. Obviously we did an episode about podcasts and we do a podcast and I used to listen to a lot of podcasts and I've actually substituted a lot of the podcasting I used to listen to with Clubhouse. Because again, it's just people talking, but it's a little bit more relevant and you can talk back, you can ask questions, you can be a part of conversations with people you would have never thought you would have been in conversations with. So yeah, man, I think it's like a very positive thing. And I think you could do it in the same way you do podcasting. Like as you doing your rounds and you're at work, you could just listen, because a lot of times I'm just listening. I'm not jumping into conversations.
I mean, again, I've never downloaded it. So how does it work? Like
we about to download the app before he leaves today.
That's a negative.
No, that's a positive.
That's a negative.
He's just doing that because he got a 7 and he ain't got no space on there. That's all.
I definitely got the 12 Pro Max. I'm flexing.
Big flex.
I'm flexing.
I'm with the 11, so I can't even talk about that. But one thing I really that kind of aggravates me about Clubhouse though is like there's like every day I see a group pop up about like manifesting and like speaking things into existence. It's like a group every morning at like 6 o'clock. It's like from 6 to 8. And all they talk about is like manifesting and speaking things into existence and stuff like that.
Great segue.
And yeah, that was kind of what I was doing. You just kind of called it out,
No, I don't think we about to talk about the same thing, bro. You ever heard of something called non-dual Christianity?
Non-dual Christianity.
And I think I'm even saying it wrong. There's a lady. Again, I listened to the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Curly Nikki.
Curly Nikki.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about?
I have no clue who Curly Nikki is.
Okay, well, she was on there, and she's like into spirituality. All right, for the people that's into that, this is no shade to y'all. I'm just whatever. She was talking about spirituality, and she brought up it's either dual Christianity or non-dual.
I see it, non-dual Christianity.
Bro, if you read, I'm like, bro, what?
Experiencing God directly, non-duality.
And like one of because I didn't do like deep research on it, but I read a couple of posts, and I think one of the scriptures that they pulled from is I'm the way, the truth, and the life.
Yeah.
And they were using that, I guess, again, I could be slaughtering this, guys. I don't know. I'm very ignorant on it, but this is my first. I wanted to bring it up to you. Like, have you ever heard of non-dual Christianity?
I have not heard of it in that sense. I think it's related to some stuff that I think I have heard of, but. Yeah, I mean, it's mysticism, universalism, mysticism
definitely.
Type stuff, It seems rather crazy, but I've never jumped into it, so I'd love to kind of like look into it and see. I see it has like some Eastern roots, Indian roots, Buddhist roots. So it looks like an amalgamation of some Eastern practices that we see in Buddhism and Gnosticism. And then they just kind of merge that with some Christian backing, So,
I think it just scares me for the people that's trying to find their way, because spirituality is like a big thing right now.
Yeah.
And it's like for the people that have a Christian background, they hear that
I'm not religious, I'm spiritual.
And I feel like that's a perfect gateway drug to get deceived, man. So when
I
heard it, like, bro, I stopped packing my truck and everything. I was like, bro, I've never heard of this. And your boy was like, yeah,
Who?
We talk about
the man.
Too much. Yeah, man.
King Charla.
Shout
out to Charlamagne, man.
I feel it is the thing about. I feel like he's a dope person. It's just some of his.
I don't know. I don't feel like he's a dope person. I feel like he would be. Like he's a dope person. I feel like he's an instigator, and sometimes when you become more intelligent, you hide your level of being an instigator with a sense of being inquisitive, but it's not really. You've been inquisitive. You're just trying to basically instigate and expose something about a person. So I mean, I could be wrong,
but that could be I think I could see through the journalism. I feel like that's his journalism side.
Yeah.
Me personally, I feel like he'll be like one of the homies that I know. He just be on some crazy stuff, but he cool.
I dig it.
Like for me personally,
I dig it.
Of course. Now. That was that. I want you to go back to your segue that I
we that train sailed. That I just mixed two analogies.
I apologize. A song that's out.
Speaking of, I apologize. The new hit single from Ty Van has just dropped on all streaming platforms.
It's out there.
Go download it right now.
Let me know how y'all like that.
Yeah, the link is in your bio.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also in the Pastor Rapper podcast bio. So go click on that, man.
The video is also out right now too.
The video is out. I didn't even know the video was out.
Yeah,
man.
Fun fact: I have dreads in that video.
Yeah, yeah, man.
I have lip piercings in that video, so I definitely.
I just noticed you don't even have the lip piercing.
Yeah, I took the lip piercing.
I legitimately just noticed that.
I took them things out.
March
8th.
Okay, all right. You know what? Look, we're already blabbing. We're like, oh, and you know what? I'm not recording. I'm recording the video, and we do have audio. It's just not through here.
So is there a way we could just keep recording the video and we could just strip the audio from that? Because this is too pure.
We can.
I know it may be a little hard, and I apologize.
No. We can. I apologize. It's out right now. All streaming platforms.
I'll rub it off on this man.
Nah, So here's the thing.
Okay.
It don't matter.
No, hold on. Decision has to be made right now. What are we doing?
I could just hit record, but either way, we're fine because the audio goes through here, even if we're not recording it hardware in here. It's an audio converter, so it's recording through the software. So.
I'll say this: do what you feel is best. But I feel as long as we can get this conversation, because this is a very pure conversation.
Okay, but I feel like it's taking a minute, and I don't even know how long. Oh, we're 15 minutes in, minus the 6 minutes we were talking before we went live.
But last episode showed me, bro.
I cut that episode.
It was still long. I think we need to go a little longer. We were doing 30 minutes to start.
Bro, that episode was 50 minutes long, and we made it 39.
Wait, so are we going to start over again?
Let's just start over again.
Okay.
You want to keep going? We can keep going. I'm good. I'm good with going, and we could just cut this part out.
I actually don't want you to cut it, but I love pureness, bro.
Okay.
All right, so we in it. So what's current?
Current events
that you want to talk about.
You know what's funny? I was about to go to another subject, man. It's a lot of stuff that's current right now. My boy Chris Paul is about to make it to the NBA Finals. Oh gosh, man. Yo, I gotta get my sound game up, man. Shout out to Chris Paul. We need to get you some Bethune-Cookman merch, man. You be wearing all this HBCU stuff.
He wears FAMU, don't he? Everybody
he wears everything. He's worn Southern, Texas Southern. He's worn so many HBCUs, but he hadn't gotten any Cookman stuff.
You remember back in the 90s where like a lot of black celebrities were wearing like HBCU.
Yeah.
FAMU was I just watched a Martin episode today. Cole had on the FAMU shirt. I'm
FAMU,
like, FAMU
Howard, and Morehouse are everything.
Hard, bro. But yeah.
Yeah, so, Chris Paul made it to the finals. What else is going on?
Man. What is going on? It's crazy. My mind is with blank.
4th of July was yesterday. So.
Yeah. Sha'Carri Richardson.
Yeah. I mean, we'll go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I was hurt.
Really?
When I read
Wait. Unpack. Yeah, start from where you starting from. Cause I feel like things happen so fast. Like I feel like we just found out how good she was.
Yeah.
And then a couple of days ago we found out how good she was.
I like that. No, so I don't know. I can't remember where I saw it, but it was just like, there's a possibility that Sha'Carri.
I hope it's Sha'Carri. Yeah.
If I'm saying it wrong, I apologize.
Yeah, we love you though.
I'm gonna say Sha'Carri.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, and it was like it's a possibility that she may be suspended.
Yeah.
And then I found I don't know if we want to say why. They could look that up.
Nah, we can say why.
Okay.
I wish I was almost loaded Stephen A. Smith where he say stay off the weed.
That's not actually. Please, Stephen A. Smith to me. I just want to stay away from him.
Man, but unfortunately, Sha'Carri, who recorded. Look, let's pump her up before we. We're not going to tear her down, obviously, but Sha'Carri, who recorded the fastest time ever in her particular event, and was ready to make her way to Tokyo Olympics. Young woman, LSU student, and had just qualified and was, literally ahead in front of all of her competition. And just a week and a half ago, we're all celebrating this young woman, this young black woman, and not just celebrating her, but celebrating her uniqueness. Yeah. And she is a beautiful black woman with colorful hair, and she's raw. We love her authenticity. I saw that clip where she got done running and she just kept running and ran all the way up into the stands to hug her grandma
and I cried.
And her people. I was like, yo, that is so dope, and this young lady is 100% herself, right?
Correct.
And then a few days after that, we find out that she tested positive for THC in her system, which means that she's disqualified from being able to. Well, she's not disqualified.
There you go.
She's banned from being able to participate for a certain period of time. Technically, she can compete in the relay, if they allow for her to be a part of the pool of runners who are considered, but it doesn't look like she'll be able to do it because the THC is in her system. And where do you get THC from?
The earth.
Okay. All right.
But this is the thing about that,
all
bro.
Right. Okay. All right.
I mean,
well, go ahead. What's the thing about it?
I actually lost my whole train of thought. I had something.
Yeah. So it brings up a lot of questions, right? Like I
wouldn't say a lot of questions, maybe just a couple.
I think it brings up some good conversation.
I would like to
questions.
Hear them, sir.
Like I've seen a lot of reactions, and I've seen a lot of reactions. I'm just gonna be honest, from Christians that have kind of surprised me about, how they're interacting with this thing. But like, I want to know from you first, like, what was your first thought when you saw that whole thing?
I was just sad because I know she worked hard to get to where she got to, So, when I got the news, like I got it personally, when I saw the news or read the news, I was just like, dang, man, like that's gotta suck. Like, it's just unfortunate that there's a possibility that you could be, disqualified from even going to Tokyo.
Yeah.
So, that's what I'm about to say. It's still a possibility of her going because her 30 days is right before.
Right.
So
But she wouldn't be able to run the event that we saw her run. She would only qualify for the relay race, which is like the 4x4. So it's kind of a different event. So she could technically still go to the Olympics, but she wouldn't be able. It's almost like saying like, well, I don't know. I'm not going to create an analogy, but she can't compete in the event that she's well known for. So
yeah, it just sucks. But I mean, it also shows that every action there's a equal or lesser reaction.
Yeah, I mean there's consequences.
Right? on my physics tip.
every particular situation has consequences, and it's a sad event. I think that's my first thought was, yo, man, I hate that for her. You know what I'm saying? Like 1 minute she's literally at the top of the world. Like she's one of the most celebrated black female athletes, out there right now, and she's getting the praise of everybody. LeBron James, like basketball players, baseball players, Olympians, right? And then like that, just that quickly. And it's crazy because isn't that the same thing your parents warn you about all your life?
All the time.
Only one bad decision. One bad decision can put you in a place like this.
And it's a fact.
Yeah, it's a very legitimate fact. I mean, Christians say this a lot, but I don't even think they really acknowledge this the way they should. Like, it's only by God's grace that like so many of us have not gotten disqualified from the race of life.
Oh, it sounds like a sermon.
Nah, I legit saw some pastors trying to use that. So, but yeah, man, I felt bad for her, man. I still feel bad for her. And, I send her much love and many prayers because that has to be devastating. But, the root of what they say and what she had mentioned was like, I don't know if you know this, but her mom passed not too long ago. And she found out about her mom passing, not from somebody calling her, but like a reporter telling her that her mom had passed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's some deep pain there. It's deep pain there.
That's horrible.
She hasn't. I don't think she's done healing. Obviously, I mean, do we ever finish healing from situations like that? But, she associated her drug use with the fact that her mom had passed and she was grieving. Which, man, like, I mean, we got a pod coming about substance abuse and all of that type stuff. But like, how real is that? Like, how real is that? I mean, bro, you had a bad day this past week. Like, are you not tempted to like overeat or get a drink or get too many drinks or like, hit the blunt?
It depends on the situation. As bad as that situation was that happened this week, with the job, the line of work that I'm in, it happens often. So it's like, if I were to resort to any kind of substance abuse or overeating, or it'll be quite often actually with the line of work that I do. So it just wouldn't be healthy to do that, and I'm glad I have that balance to know, like, I'll talk to someone as I called you. I'll calm down, pray about it, keep it moving. So but don't get it twisted. That's work. There's certain situations where it's just like, yo,
I got it.
Hey,
I dig it. Yo, so all right, let's just get straight to it.
Okay.
How do you feel about the weed thing?
So I don't know if Sha'Carri is a Christian. So if she is not professing or following to or, you know, if she's not declaring that she's a Christian, she's not living this thing out, I'm not surprised at her going to marijuana. That's what they do. Now, with her training for the Olympics, I would have thought that she would have been, I'm speaking on the situation, not her, y'all. So I would have thought that she would, you know, more disciplined, because it takes, for instance, I heard when Simone Biles, when they went 4 years ago, her and her team, when they got done, I think they were so happy to eat a slice. I think I told you this before. They eat a slice of pizza.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have pizza for years, bro.
That's what
pizza.
Tom Brady talks about that. Like he only eats pizza 2 weeks out of the year. Like,
you see what I'm saying?
And even when he eats it, it's still like super clean pizza. You know, that's just how disciplined he is.
So with that being said, it's just like, you know, granted, she's still young. I actually don't want. I don't want to do that.
Don't blame it on her.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. So it's just, you know, with the seriousness of what you're trying to do, she's a great athlete, and it's like it takes a lot of discipline to get to that space. And just like you said, it could be one bad decision that could mess it all. So it's like, with that being on the line, not to be insensitive, I know you got things going on, but and it's like, if she's not a Christian, if you were to do that, just, you know, do it outside of, like, this is not the time to do that. Maybe find some other way to do it, so you could still, you know, be you could still be able to run the race or whatever like that. So
I joked about Stephen A. Smith earlier, but he, you know, and he's like a caricature for stay off the weed and all that stuff. But like, one thing he says, and I've heard him say, you know, in a less salacious way, is like, he's not anti-weed. He's anti people risking the bag over it, right? Now I'm gonna throw some curveballs, because I've truly wrestled, and, you know, if y'all follow me on social media, I tend not to rush to put my opinion about things out there, because I truly want the Spirit of God to move me, and I truly want to be able to look back in 10, 15 years and say, yo, I still believe that, right? I still agree. And there's another element. It's like, yo, I'm really in people's lives, right? And there are real people who I do this with, and I would rather just have the conversation with them than to blast it on, you know, in the world. So one thing I've seen is like a lot of people saying, yo, rules are outdated. Like, the rules are outdated. Like, change the rules. You know, like, don't keep her from competing. Just change the rules. Like, marijuana is legal in a certain amount of states. It's on its way to being illegal in a lot of states, right? So, like, why are we even holding athletes to that standard anymore? And then, you know, I've also seen people talk about the fact that, yo, they're doing this because she's a black woman, you know, and there are other athletes, namely, what's my man's name? The swimmer, Michael Phelps, who have been caught in the past indulging in marijuana, and people believe that they haven't had the same treatment. So, like, have you seen those things? How do you feel about those things? I'll give my opinion on them, but I just kind of, I wanted to see where you were.
You hit it on the head. I know I was rambling. I can't get to that.
Yeah.
But to speak on the first one, I know America is seen as a Christian nation. I would beg to differ, just based on how the government
America is not a Christian nation.
I don't think it is. I'm sorry. So,
if y'all get that clip and y'all isolate that and put me in
we gonna go viral.
A montage video. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be crazy.
So, with that being said, with weed, possibly there's a big possibility that within the next couple of years it could be legal in all states.
Yeah.
I need y'all to be fair across the board. I do think the rules, if that's what y'all are pushing to possibly, it's legal in some states and there's a big possibility it's going to be legal in every state in America. I do think y'all need to change the rules.
Okay.
Just on not a Christian standard, American standard. Be fair across the board. Right. With the Michael Phelps and Sha'Carri, the comparison, I jumped the gun. I didn't make a post, but someone made a comment on Facebook, and I commented. It was a joke, but I was like, "But Michael Phelps," and I was like, "Dot, never mind." And somebody came. I knew it was coming after I wrote it. I'm like you. I did my research. I was like, "Let me see what actually happened to Michael Phelps." He got suspended for 4 months. Yeah. When that situation, so he got suspended as well.
On top of that, never mind.
Oh yeah,
I'll let you finish.
I read it after I already made the comment. Yeah. I didn't delete the comment. I knew somebody was gonna come. I was like, I actually want to keep this up so people could you know how I am. It's like I need people to see this. Yeah. When somebody corrected me, I was like, bro, I actually knew this was coming. Yeah. I appreciate you for doing this. I wanted people to see, to not jump to conclusions. You feel me? And I kept it up there. So I was one of the people. I was doing the whole race thing. Mm-hmm. That's not wise. Like. We can't make everything about race. Right. So it's like you say, look at the situation. Now, if you would have looked at a situation, see that Michael Phelps would have got caught doing it and there was no suspension, there's a big possibility to be a race thing. But you can't do the comparison. I'm guilty. I was guilty of doing that, but I did my research. So that's my piece.
Well, I think with that, man, I mean, I don't know if this is a whole nother pod, but like, yo, I think you've known me long enough to know, like, when I see racism, I want to call it out. Definitely. And I'm like anti-racism, period. But I also feel like there's a contingency of people who rush to make it racism. Yeah. When it's not really racism. I was one. Or we can't prove that it's racism, which is very important because I think that people do not take the 9th commandment serious enough, which is talking about bearing false witness. Like, anytime you accuse somebody of something as serious as racism, not knowing for sure that it's actually racism, you are kind of subjecting yourself to like not following the 9th commandment, which is like extremely, extremely important. So I don't rush to call things racism, but man, I'm just saying, like, I want to see the facts, right? So like, I saw the whole Michael Phelps thing, and your initial response is like, yeah. And then I was like, nah, man, let me look this up. And you're right, Michael Phelps was suspended for 4 months. Let me tell you something else that's different between Michael Phelps and her. Michael Phelps actually, they never actually found weed. Like, they never could prove that there was weed in his system. He just admitted that he had taken it, right? Or that he had, had that substance, right? So it was by his own admonition. It wasn't even like, oh, we found it, it's a clear, blah, blah, blah. Secondly, just like you said, Phelps was suspended for 4 months. Thirdly, all of this came about after he competed at the Olympics, not before he competed at the Olympics. Here's the big kicker. Michael Phelps lost millions of dollars in sponsorships. Sha'Carri Richardson probably will not.
Nike actually came out and said
they weren't. Which, man, I was crunk to see that they were like, yo, we're standing behind her. Like, I was really hyped to see that they were standing behind her. And that's something that Phelps didn't even get, because Phelps was dropped from so many different sponsorships. So we got to be a little bit more reliant on the truth and complete facts than to running to an assumption, right? Am I saying that there's not some racist or racial factor in that? I'm not saying that. Like, it's a very real possibility. I'm just saying that the evidence that we have right now doesn't point to that. Now, the second thing is like what we were talking about before that was the rules, right? Do the rules need to change? Yes, the rules do need to change.
Wow, we actually agree, bro.
It's 2021. Marijuana is legal in a bunch of states. It's on the way to being legal in a lot more states. Two things from that, though. One about Sha'Carri, one about culture, specifically Christian culture. One about Sha'Carri. I did some research. Actually, Kenyatta did the research for me.
Shout out Kenyatta.
So with the changes in the laws, the Olympic Committee actually has changed the rules. They have made the threshold for how much THC they test for almost 10 times what it was. So before it was like 15 milligrams. Now it's 150 milligrams. The reason they did that was because if somebody was an athlete in California or Colorado or, you know, a place like that, it would give them enough leniency to use it sparingly, but not be like on it all the time. My girl blew that thing out the water, which means like she wasn't just did like that. It wasn't like she hit it once. Like this was something that must have happened at least more than one time, right? So I'm not saying one way or another. I'm just saying, does that not at least change the conversation? Like, do we?
Nah, not because we pretty much both said the same thing. The rules need to be changed, which they did.
Right.
So with that being said, going back to the discipline, not being insensitive, I understand you have someone this past. People cope in different ways. I feel like in this time, it would be wise to find another way to handle your situation.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do, fine. You know, do what you feel is best. Of course, we have our ways of how but I'm not putting that on her. So however you feel like doing it, do it. But this is a different season in your life right now.
Yeah.
You have to move at different seasons in your life. So it's like I'm not trying. You were at the Tokyo Olympics. I need to be like laser focused right now, and if you know I'm grieving right now, I need to grieve another way.
Yeah.
Again, not being insensitive, but that's just speaking to the situation for anybody that may be in this kind of situation to listen to the podcast.
I'm gonna be real with you, man, and you know we've been serious for a second. I gotta get real, yo. It's a lot of Christians caping for Sha'Carri when Sha'Carri's not even trying to defend herself in that way, and I'm like, yo. She's taking responsibility. Why are you trying to cape for her? And there's a lot of Christians blowing past the fact that instead of trying to defend her in making that wrong decision, maybe we should put energy behind trying to see healing for her and people like her before they get to that wrong decision.
Correct.
Right? So like there is a very real aspect of being a human being that says like, I am hurting and I need help. And maybe I don't need to be doing these certain things until I get help, right? And I don't think that's something we want to wrestle with. Like, I dealt with that in the fall. It's like there was a moment in the fall where I was like, yo, I do not need to be pastoring right now. Like, yes, I love pastoring. I'm called to it. I love preaching. I love doing church. I don't need to be doing it right now because I'm not healthy.
Correct.
Right? Like, and we gotta be more willing to step away from even stuff that we love because we're in a place where we need help.
Speaking to your point, I did the same thing with rap last year. And you know, I called you about that. Yeah. And you know how much I love rap. It was messing with my mental.
Yeah.
I was stressing out. I was fatiguing. I had to step away from it. So that's, again, different seasons, you have to do different things.
Different seasons, yeah.
So, yeah, that's it.
Hey, man, I'll tell you one thing. I pray right now that Sha'Carri gets a whole lot of love and support.
Yes.
That, man, some people get around her and love on her so well and help walk her through grieving and mourning, because that's a very real thing, man. And I think there's a lesson to be learned there that sometimes we put our hope in our doing and not our hope in what we know to be true. Yeah. Right. Cause like I can't speak for her. I never heard her say this, y'all. So don't put me under the fire.
Too late.
Like, or on top or over the fire, whatever. There's a very real possibility that running could have been a coping mechanism for her. Right. Like she needed to do something where she felt success and felt like she could thrive and achieve. But that might not have been the thing she needed for the sake of her mental health, her spiritual health, her emotional health, and grieving and all that time. But then I told you there's another aspect that I think we gotta address. Yo, following the rules is cool when you think about wisdom, because that's what you pointed to. It's like, yo, like you're going to the Olympics, be wise, right? Like just put it down for a second so you could be wise. Yeah. But as Christians, it's not just about wisdom. It's about honoring God, right? So like us obeying the law of the land is not just about, oh yeah, let me do this because it's wise. Like we literally have a mandate to obey the rules, right? Like people don't like that, but it's like it's in the Bible that we are called to follow the rules that are outset for us, because that is a greater apologetic of us being those who belong to Jesus than us being radical and saying, well, the rules need to change. Let's change the rules. Let's get behind changing the rules. Now, is there a time where we need to stand up and go against things that are unjust? Yes, we should. But every battle is not yours to fight, especially if it ain't pointing to a righteous God. You know, so Romans 13, 1-7. Everyone must submit himself to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, he who rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted. And those who do so will bring judgment on themselves. For rulers hold no terror for their for those who do right, but for those who do wrong. It goes on to talk about rulers and authorities, but the big thing is, man, yo, we should be the ones saying, yo, we pay taxes because, yo, that's the rule of the law. We're not cheating on our taxes because God established that law when he established his government. Like we're not going against, speeding is just as wrong to God because there is a rule about it that God has established himself through our government. And I think sometimes as Christians, we lose sight to like following the rules. Like we feel like if a rule doesn't make sense to us, it's just like, yo, you don't have to follow it.
So question, I just for clarity, are you, is this more so saying this conversation for the Christian that was saying that Shikari, they need to change the rules because of the situation? I'm just trying to see if that's what you're addressing.
It's not for the people who say we need to change the rules. It's for the people who are more boisterous about the rules needing to be changed than they are thinking about the accountability of the rules that are already established. Because
I just want to be careful about that, because first off, I agree with what you're saying, but it's like, I just know in certain communities they'll throw this conversation up, and it's like you have to remember, like, all the times the rules may not be right, and sometimes they may call for change. Reason being, correct, slavery was once a legal thing.
It was
that needed to be changed,
right?
So, and I'm not coming against you. I'm just speaking for.
But here's the thing, and I agree with that tenfold.
Yeah.
What ended slavery? Was it people not obeying the rules about slavery, or was it people making sure that the rules were changed through systems, processes, and their belief in God, right? Like, I'm not saying the rules don't need to be changed. They definitely need to be changed. But why, and even in me saying this, maybe we need to pull back a little bit, because I'm not talking about something as serious as slavery. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm talking about marijuana use. Like, no, well, you know what I'm saying?
I was doing that extreme. Just yeah. Again, I just know I don't want people running with this and turning it another way. That's and I had to go extreme.
Okay, I'll give you an example. To my child, it doesn't make any sense that they have to clean their room when they're gonna get it back dirty.
Correct.
It makes zero sense. They can justify it to me well, right? But if that's a rule of our household, the way for them to get out of that rule is not by bucking and not cleaning their room. Like, you're still responsible for following that rule in some way, shape, or form. And even if there are going to be people who are going against that, I just am not convinced that that's the Christian's place. I'm not saying, no, don't get me wrong. Christians should never just like sit and be like dormant and, you know, like never push against the things that are in society. No, we should. Like we should be outspoken about things that are unjust. But I think you get more, you're more capable of seeing the rules change by going about it in the right way instead of just saying, man, forget that. You do what you want to do.
No, and that's what I said for clarity. I agree with that. I do think because there's a lot of social media activists.
Yeah.
Like you said, something happens in current events, you talk about it, and that's just that.
Yeah.
That ain't doing. If you're not putting on action behind what you just said, I actually prefer you just to shut up.
Right.
Like actually, I'm just being 100. I actually like you said, there's a system on how to get rules changed. So if you really feel that weighing on your heart like that, be a part of the system to get it changed.
Right.
But to your point, whatever the rule is, abide by that rule. So don't be saying it needs to be changed. But this is what until it's changed, this is what the rule is.
Abide by the rule.
You know what it
bro,
is.
That's all I say. It's
and
like,
also though, that's for Christian. I keep saying this because I don't know.
Christians.
Yeah,
we're not going to hold non-Christians to Christian standards.
And that's another podcast I pray we get to.
Yeah.
But that's all I'm saying. So yeah, I just wanted clarity on that.
Well, and that's the majority of my frustration has not been about non-Christians.
Gotcha.
Like what a non-Christian says, I not only like I actually understand. I understand them saying those things. To a Christian, I will never understand them saying like, "Yo, forget the rules."
Yeah, I don't either.
It's like, I don't really know where you get that from, like biblically.
Correct.
And even Jesus, right? Like Jesus obeyed the rules that God had established, even if he went against certain aspects of it that men had established. Right?
Gotcha, because he had a true understanding of what God was saying.
Exactly.
When they were trying to say he was breaking laws, y'all are doing the legalistic, like this is what God said, and y'all are taking it. That's not the way that God intended.
Some people would try to fool you into believing, no, Jesus was a rebel. He broke the rules. No, that's not true.
He was living out. That's a whole other podcast. We could.
No,
talk.
That's this podcast because.
So
I just want to tell Christians like you don't really have a justification for saying like, nah, we don't need to obey the rules. Like there's never a time where I believe a Christian is in line with saying, nah, we good. We don't have to obey the rules. Like,
I got you. And just for the Christians watching this, I'm not going to go super deep, but like Byron is saying, Jesus did not break the rules. He was fulfilling the rules. Trust me. If you
and whatever rule that you think he broke, it wasn't actually a rule that was established by God.
Correct.
It was something that authorities that were being overzealous put in front of people. Now, is this weed thing an overzealous thing? Maybe it could be, but my whole thing is, if that's what you subjected yourself to, you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody violate her human rights.
Actually, I was shaking my head.
No. I know.
Okay, yeah.
All I'm saying is nobody violated her human rights.
Correct.
Like she subjected herself to the rules.
Correct.
It's just like I've told you this, and I tell other men this. Yo, if you ever see me if you ever see me in adultery, you need to be the first one to tell other people in our church and tell my wife, because I don't need to be your pastor. Why? Because the Bible clearly states that I'm to be a man of one wife, right? If you see that I'm a drunkard, right? Like if you peep game and realize like, yo, Byron drinks too much, then there's something there. I broke the rule, right? So I have subjected myself to that rule. And as I think for us to have integrity, if we're going to subject ourselves to something, then we got to obey it. That's why I don't understand why people they go for a job and then like the rule might be, yo, your break is only 30 minutes. And then they're on social media bragging about how they take an hour. Like what?
Yeah.
God gave you that job. You subjected yourself to that authority and now you breaking it. That's not something to be celebrated as a Christian. Like, I don't know. I'm the wrong person to be on this podcast.
Nah, bro, you're right. You're right. I mean, bro, that's the whole underlying underlying theme of the Bible. Like there's rules that were set, of course, by God, and we like, screw that. I'm gonna do what I want. That's literally the whole. That's the sin problem. It's like, yeah, I know what you're saying, God. I want to do this though.
But it's just, man. Remember, Paul says in 1 Corinthians, "Who are we to judge unbelievers?" He's like, who are we to judge unbelievers? But then he goes on to talk about why Christians should judge each other. It's like, because the severity, the truth of our salvation depends on it. Why would you spend your time talking about what the world is doing?
The world gonna be the world. You're wasting breath.
But here's the flip side of that. If you're a Christian and you want to be a part of the world, like you gotta kind of like, you gotta do some work. You gotta reconcile. You got to figure out like, yo, where am I out of step? Because I am seeing things more from the world's point of view than I am from Christ's point of view.
Yeah.
You know, so
now, what's your litmus? But I have to constantly ask myself that. Sometimes I lean on my own litmus, my own understanding. Like, what is is God in the Bible your litmus?
Yeah.
I subject myself to that when I say I'm a follower of Christ.
Right.
It's going to hurt sometimes, but that's my litmus, not me. But then that's a constant battle of mine.
But the new thing is just move the goalpost and make Jesus something he's not. You know, it's like, yo, Jesus would do this and that. We talked about this before the pod. It's like, I don't know if Jesus would do that. You know, like Anyway, God bless. This is the He's the Pastor, I'm the Rapper podcast.
This is a good podcast. We trying to get y'all more than 30 now.
Yeah. I'm gonna get my closing, and then if you want to go more, you can. But my thing is this, man. First and foremost, shout out to Sha'Carri Richardson.
Yes, man.
Like, man, we got so much love for you, and I am proud to see you as a black woman, a young black woman, do the things that you have been able to do. And I want to see you succeed. I'm praying for you from afar. And whatever things might be going on in your life, whether it's associated with your mom's passing or whatever other trauma you could be dealing with, man, I pray right now that the Spirit of God would comfort you and that the Spirit of God would pull people into your life to be with you and hold you accountable, not in the negative sense, but in the positive sense, that there's people beside you cheering you on, not just for what you can do, but for who you are. Like, it's not about the fact that you are just this wonderful, beautiful athlete. It's the fact that God made you and he loves you, he cares for you, and he wants to be your one and only. And he might be, I don't know, you could be walking with him already, but I just pray that there's some people around you that can really just keep pointing you back to the cross. Yeah. Keep going though, keep running, and you're young, and man, I believe God's gonna give you a lot more opportunities. To my Christian brothers and sisters, thank you for caring about justice and racial equity, but also be lovers of truth and also find the facts. Be slow to speak.
Oh, you took it out my head.
Slow to speak, quick to listen. Like, all of that stuff. Trust in the Spirit. Abide in Christ. And then to the people who don't want to follow the rules, Jesus ain't feeling that.
Oh, yeah. That's it. I ain't really got nothing else to say.
Really?
Bro, you said it all. I mean, it needed to be said. Just stop leaning on your own understanding, y'all. I find myself doing that a lot. I'm just being real, and I have to catch myself. Christians, stop leaning on your own understanding. If you subject it to God and his Bible, and that's the authority of your life, abide by that.
Yeah.
Lean on God to give you the strength where you think things are hard. I'm speaking to myself, y'all. I'm just being honest. Yeah, where you think things are hard and you can't do, that's what God is there for. And quit leaning on your own understanding. That's it, man.
Yeah.
So
I apologize. Out right now.
Oh yeah. Be ready.
Yes, sir.
Out right now. Crew for Jesus. That is out
Jesus.
Right now. You can check that video right now. You can listen to that song on all streaming platforms right now.
Now. You can follow the man, the myth, the legend at I Am Ty Van on every single social media platform. You can also follow Crew, the number 4, Jesus on every single platform. Look out for new music coming soon. What's up?
Go ahead. Bro.
And then if y'all want to follow me, I post pictures of my family. But if you follow me, I'm Byron L. Cogdell on literally everything.
Yeah.
And also, we'd love for you to follow and support Identity Daytona. That is the family of God, the church that we serve, the church that we're planting right now. And we would love to have your support.
Yep. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please and thank you. For those listening on streaming platforms, please leave us a review on Apple if you can do that. Leave us a rating, preferably 5 stars. No, don't do that. Be honest. If you think it's be 1 star, let us know so we can be better. But that's it.